Hello, I'm Shorty Q, and if you knew what it do, I hope you become part of the Q crew. It's free to subscribe. This is motivational, inspirational type content. Most of the time. I think it's most voice of reason. I'll let you decide. I hope you subscribe. So, let's not hold back anything. Let's get right into it. We're talking about toxicity and how to identify it and what to look out for. So let's get right into it.
Men always have a problem with women saying, I don't need no man, but you be so non-useful. How you gonna be a man that's not useful, that's not a leader, that doesn't provide structure, mad that a woman saying she don't need your ass? What she means is she don't need your drama. She don't need...
I'm pretty sure I said this before. Like, we don't need it. We don't need your drama. We don't need your uselessness. You don't try to help around the house. You don't help rear the children. You don't help clean around, like do dishes, do clothes. You don't even do the like the things around the house, like the lawn, get the car fixed when it needs to be done. Like, if I'm doing all of those things and then you have every reason to sit up here and have to find a reason to get upset about it because I'm holding you accountable and you're not doing your part, then what's the point of you being here?
Boy, bye.
If I got to do it myself. That's a part, like I said, of being, I don't need a man. Just like I said, that was misconstrued. That's what we were referring to. And y'all wanted to gaslight and say that it was something else. That's not what we were saying. This guy got it. Why didn't you?
your immaturity. She doesn't need the problems you're bringing into her life. She doesn't need your gaslighting. When she say, I don't need that type of man, she talking about you, my... She not talking about healed, healthy men. Oh, she need that. She need a man that's going to be a partner. Yes.
I've already said that in my previous video. I don't want anybody that's not healed and did their work. And that self-reflect or did their self-improvement and development. Like, no one needs that. It's not fair to the person that is healed and did their part.
She need a man that's going to be a father to her children. She need her soulmate. She don't need your raggedy ass that's coming into this relationship unprepared. If that man ain't adding, he's subtracting. So subtract him. Men always have a problem with...
Choose yourself first. That is so true. I didn't realize how much it was subtracting from your life. Like, it really does affect you in that type of way. It just does nothing but hinder you. Because you're sitting here thinking this person's going to do what they say they're going to do. And then when they don't do it, that just puts it right back on your plate when you had other things that you had to handle. It's overwhelming, and then it's just best to do it by yourself because then you know it's going to get done because you don't have to worry about someone that's being useless around the house.
You can help me with the baby.
Oh, gee, SpongeBob, I'd love to, but I'm totally beat from work.
Like, it's so frustrating and aggravating. Like, you can't make a person be an adult or another person be a man. Like, you just can't. You can't make a person be a father, etc. So let's get to the next one here.
Top 5 signs that a guy is probably toxic, so pay attention. Number 1, controlling. Listen, every controlling toxic guy, it starts off subtle. Starts off with a little this, little that, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? Number 2, inconsistency. If he's very inconsistent...
Let's talk about that controlling stuff. As soon as I hear some controlling crap, I'm done. You're not going to sit there and tell me what you are going to do and what you're going to tell me what to do. You're going to cook for me. You're going to do this for me. You're going to... For what? That's what a woman's supposed to do. Yeah, and you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. So if you're not doing your part, then what are you doing? What are we here for? And then they try to gaslight and say that you're the controlling one. But you ain't doing nothing. And then, like, they try to make it confusing for you. And try to, like I said, oh, but you're the woman, that's what you're supposed to do. That doesn't how it works. I don't know what, people like that don't live in reality. Like, seriously.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The dude's toxic, man. Number 3, mind games. Listen, That is, if you ever date a guy and you start feeling confused or shit's not making any sense to you, he's playing mind games on you and he's toxic. Number 4, lack of communication. If a guy is barely communicating with you, barely talking to you, clearly he's playing fucking games with you and clearly he's toxic, right? Like, these are things you have to be like aware of, all right? And then
Playing fucking games. Playing in your damn face. So disrespectful. Like, a lot of men don't have respect for a woman. That is so disrespectful. Like, I can't make you get off of your job and spend time with me. Like, that is your job. That is your PTO, whatever, for you to be able to spend time with me. I can't make you pick up the phone and call me. Like, they playing. They playing with you. And it's real stupid and dumb.
negative words. If a guy, every time you talk to him about something or anything and he's always negative, man, he's a toxic person. Get rid of that guy.
Yeah, that's even with friends. Like, have you ever been around somebody that always spoke negative? Everything was always woe is me, and um everything always goes wrong and blah blah blah. I used to be like that when I was younger, and when I got out of being like that and then I started seeing someone else be like that, it started to become a red flag. It was just like, man, why
Why you always negative all the goddamn time? And
and when you're negative like that and always, you know, thinking that something is going to happen, it ends up going to happen because you don't have no optimism at all. Your outcome is going to be always not on your side. And that's because if you think more positively, you're going to be more productive and move in a more productive way. When you're negative, you're not going to move more positive in a productive way because you don't believe it's going to happen. Be optimistic. Like, when you constantly stay in that energy, you bring that type of energy. And people say stuff like that and you just brush it off. I did. I just like, yeah, whatever. What the hell you talking about? Like, this is what's been happening forever. It's always what keeps happening. And I just don't believe in trying to put my hopes up. And when I got out of it, I realized that it was me bringing that type of energy. So if you're a person that does that, you gotta stop. It will change your perspective. And if you don't understand why you're being that negative, or you just really don't have more optimism type perspective, you may need to go to therapy and see the reason why, for real. Now, we spoke about men. Let's get into these women.
3 signs of a toxic woman. If she does any of these things, run. However, I talk to a lot of men who have their blinders on, thinking the woman that he has is gold when she's really not. There are some behaviors that men just overlook in relationships, and these really end up biting them in the back. So consider this your reminder for the top 3 toxic signs in a woman. Number 1, she's jealous. If her
Oh, I really want to talk about this. I really don't. This is really is like becoming a pet peeve when I see a woman be jealous. They are, men do this too, and that's a red flag also if they're jealous of you, because I've run into this multiple times. You don't have to do anything. They always be like, oh, everything always happens great for you, that everything always happens fine for you. Well, no, it doesn't. I actually put in the work and I actually did my part. If you did, you'll get that good luck too, because the hard work paid off. Like, it be you. Like, this year has been a big, because I used to think this all the time, but it's been very heavy again this year. I haven't thought about this in years, but people keep on giving these you problems. Like, I'm big on, you keep on talking about your you problems like I'm supposed to give a fuck about it. Like, it blows my mind. Like, you being jealous of your children, you being jealous of a friend, you being jealous of your significant other is so freaking toxic. Stop being jealous of some goddamn body. You're going to project, you're going to give out bad behavior, and you seriously should not be jealous in that type of way. What I mean by that is, it's normal to feel jealous, but for you to sit up there and act upon it and do malicious things to somebody else and sabotage their awards, that's a totally separate level of jealousy. Jealousy is supposed to enter into the body and leave as soon as it came in. To want to sit up here and cause people misfortune because you're jealous. Like, seriously, self reflect when you do things like that on why you're doing it.
Controlling who you can see, who you can talk to, what you can do, get out. Number 2.
Ooh, I don't understand that. Like, when someone gets into a relationship, you can't look at a girl, you can't talk to a girl, you can't do nothing. Men do that too. Just like in the other video when the guy was talking about, the controlling. Don't let anybody control you or take you away from your family or say you shouldn't speak to this friend. When that friend and that family member has been there before they were, and then they're starting to tell you about your friend and how they feel like you shouldn't be around them when they became before you and you had no problems with them until they came along, that is a controlling tactic, and you need to adhere to that. Don't brush that type of stuff off. Like, I don't understand how, oh, you can't call, you can't do this type of stuff. Like, I understand, like, there's a thin line. Like, you're not supposed to DM another girl. No, you're not supposed to sit here and text another girl. Like, we're not talking about that. That should be common sense. But in case it's not, we're going to go ahead and put that out there. But we're talking about just straight up just controlling every move and everything you do, and they always got to be up under you. Like, stop.
She thrives on bullying you. Open communication is one thing, but bullying is quite another. Are you going to put up with that? Number 3, she expects a double standard. Relationships should be an equal playing ground. So the same rules that she has for you, she should have for herself. So if she's making rules for only you to follow that don't apply to her, she's toxic. 3 signs.
Men do that. You're supposed to do the chores. You're supposed to do the cleaning. You're supposed to do this. Like, and then they do nothing. When women do that, that's crazy, Oh, when women say, oh, you're supposed to pay the mortgage, you're supposed to pay this, you're supposed to pay that. There's supposed to be an even playing field. Just like when men say that you're supposed to rear and take care of the children, and then they just gone and don't do nothing. When it comes to children, you are supposed to have the same responsibility. You're supposed to do the same exact thing I do when it comes to children, just in a male form. Like, why can't you get that through your thick head?
Signs of a toxic woman. If she does any of these things, run. However, I talk to a lot of men who have their blinders on, thinking the woman that he has is gold.
Hopefully I didn't interrupt too much. It is a short, so it goes pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and get to the last video.
Female narcissism that I want to bring to the forefront. It's a type of female that thinks that she can literally do no wrong. She is the one that claims that she's on a healing journey, but she's not going to therapy. Or if she is going to therapy, she's manipulating the therapist to believe that she's the victim.
You can't manipulate a therapist. If that means you may not have a good therapist if they got manipulated. Because really, unless they're, that could happen if they're really good at it. They've been doing it for years. But they're going to be able to peep out that you're in the wrong or you're speaking sideways. And then they're going to try to, help you with you doing that and call it out is what they're going to do. But when it comes to them thinking that they're always right and stuff like that, that anybody that's like that, that's toxic. Like, you have to be able to grow and learn and not think that you're right about everything. There's so much things to learn throughout your life that you can't be taught it all at once. You're going to run into certain things. That's why I try to give grace as much as possible when it comes to certain things, because not everyone learns or run into the same things throughout life. So, but when you are aware of it, and if you can do something about it, just don't ignore it.
She doesn't take into account any part of what she's done to get the reaction out of said person she's claiming as the abuser. And if you at all, at any point in time, try to hold her accountable for things that she has done that was wrong, she's going to hate you. She's going to be really upset with you, and she's going to make you feel...
Ooh, that's a big one. Like, a lot of people get fooled by this one. Like, what they would get mad at me or they would get upset. It doesn't matter. Let them have their adult tantrum. You're still not going to raise your foot up on the stance that you set because you're still in the right. If they cross the boundary or if they are out of pocket or they spoke negative towards you, that is not okay. Don't accept BS behavior. Like, a lot of people like get so worked up when someone gets upset. That's the whole thing. That's a whole manipulative tactic. Like, you're supposed to care that they got upset. And a lot of narcs will be mad at you just because you figured them out. Just because you figured them out. And after this video, we're going to speak about narcs a little bit further.
Feel bad for it. When I say make you feel bad, she's going to shame you and she's going to guilt you and she's going to deflect that responsibility in a way to put you in a place that you are wrong. If they try to use their vulnerability, they only use it to get people to believe more of the fact that they're the victim. These females are dangerous, no matter how sweet they seem. That's all. Type of female.
Well, that is it. This wine is fire. Wine that I finished off from the other day. I don't feel lit at all though. So, I want to speak a little bit about narc. Everybody thinks that the word is being overused. I really don't understand why you guys don't think that there's that many narcs out here in this world. Why would you not think that? Nobody is going to therapy and healing their childhood traumas. A lot of them are all projecting. They're all doing bad behavior. Like, that's where it comes from. They've been going along for so many years, being coddled with the behavior by their parents, by friends that's not holding them accountable. And they're not used to being held accountable somewhere in their life where they can get away with it from all the way from childhood all the way up to adulthood. So that's why they have that type of behavior. That's why there's so many of them. Because there's a lot of bad parenting out here. They're not doing any parenting. There's a lot of, especially with men, like, have you not realized that they can't seem to do no wrong? In a lot of standpoints, their friends are not holding them accountable back in the day. And we're just now holding them accountable a little bit, but we're not full circle yet. Their parents would coddle them and would not hold them accountable, sitting here covering up for them. Or especially like when it came to a girl, like a girl would know how to do all the chores and things like that around the house, but the boy didn't. That didn't happen in my household, but that's what I've been hearing. And when they come into adulthood, they couldn't do no wrong when it came to work. They just sit up here and blame the woman for sitting up here showing too much cleavage, or, it was their fault type stuff. All those things back in the day that happened from the 90s all the way up to the early 2000s until now. Why do you think there's a whole bunch of narcs? It's not overused. It's being used because there's a lot of toxic narc people. And they've been coddled and spoiled. We'll say narc behavior to appease y'all. And this is where the behavior comes from. Because they were never held accountable before. Or they found a way to manipulate and get vulnerable people to do as they tell them to do. And because they got away with it for so long, they have no idea what the heck you're talking about when you try to hold them accountable. Or when someone else does or is able, is able to hold them accountable, they completely go like mental, like they fully have a breakdown, like go off. And just like the video said, they're dangerous. They are dangerous. There's women out here that do it. We all know. Oh, my little princess, she can't do no wrong. I'm gonna give her any and everything she ever wanted. What? Like, that's not good parenting. The parenting videos are coming. But like, seriously, People. That's why there's a lot of narcs out here. Y'all swear it's being overused. It is somewhat being misused. I wouldn't say it's being overused. Hopefully these people realize and self-reflect and actually self-improve themselves after they've been held accountable by all their peers. At work, at home, by their parents. And really like stop the behavior. Like know where they go, even with their significant others. Because even significant others that you spoiled or let them get away with certain things because they're used to it from their parents, and then they get with you and then you're doing it too, that's when they're not going to change their behavior because you love them so much. It's not an excuse. Oh, I can't help it. Yes, you can. It'll be you. But that's it for this video. Remember, you guys, you're beautifully, wonderfully made. Only you can make that change. I'll see you guys on the next video. Deuces.